Hi everyone, Emma here. I wanted to show you how to make a ornament with netting. So let me start with this one here. Okay, so this is what we're going to make today. And I just left some samples out to show you how the amount of beads that you put on each strand makes a difference in where it sits and how the shape of your design, so of your netting. So if you want your netting, a little more diamond shape, then this is what you would go for. Now, what I did was I started out this one between each differentiating bead. Let me just show you. So each connecting bead, I put a different bead, and I counted 7 11 seed beads. So that's important for this design here. Now, if you change your size of your differentiating bead or your connecting bead, um, those numbers will change as well. So probably not as much as if you changed just one bead. Now, here's the thing. This one has 7 11 and this one has 6 11 and look at the difference. It did not come across the whole. It's the same amount of diamond shapes, but they're just not, and by the time you get to the bottom ones, they are really squished up. So now this could be a look that you're going for. It gives it a little bit of a kind of Moroccan feel, the shape. So there's always that. And then if you thought that maybe if I added extra diamond shape patterns, that would work, well, this is the example. It did not work. And I'll tell you why. The problem is you have to have an odd number of these shapes going from top to bottom. So this one here, we'll count them together. So I'll just show you there's 1, 2, and 3 that way. So that's not exactly how we're going to count it for this design, but for this, at least you can see the diamond shape. So consider 3. So that's a odd number that will give you your dangly bits. Otherwise you won't have any, it won't end properly. And that's what I extended this one. So of course I knew that I needed an odd number, and this is what I ended up with. So like all of this is way too much at the bottom. But this is totally not lost. You can take this and pull it together and put maybe a strip of peyote, maybe 6 or 10 beads across, and create a little design, and then you still have a really lovely ball, and it covers the whole ball. So you could do that. So let's put those two design mistakes aside, but I kind of wanted to play with it and get a feel for where things are so I could give you a better idea. Because the idea with this design, my approach is that I would like to give you the information and then you can take it and apply it to any size ball. So tip number 1 is it has to be odd numbers going top to bottom of your shape. And then the biggest difference you'll notice is how many seed beads you add in each of these little sections. And of course, this section is the same as this section, is the same as this section. So once you get your number, if it's 7 beads for 11/0, because you could be using a different size bead as well. So it's always going to be the same throughout. Okay, and I just want to quickly show you another one. We will, if people are interested, let me know. I know it's getting pretty close to Christmas, so it's probably time to put away the Christmas balls, for me anyway, to show you how to make them. But here's a design that I did, and I am totally open to doing this to show you. This turned out incredible. So these So just to say too, these Christmas balls, I got them all on Amazon. You do have to search and find. This one here is a 2.36 of an inch, and this is, I think, 3.5 of an inch. So you can see it's huge compared to the other. So I think this would probably be the best size, but oh my goodness. And you know what? These don't take a long time to make. They're really easy and relaxing to make. So this one has Swarovski crystals here, and then this beautiful shape bead. It's a Czech glass bead, and then the Swarovski again, and then the shape. So this one's a bit different where I changed it up each time, and there's the little, I put two 4mm bicones on this. And these again are 11 seed beads. And then there's this one here. This one was done with just really inexpensive pearls, 4mm pearls. Actually, I think they're 3mm pearls. I really like this one, but I am finding now that I've bought Preciosa pearls, I really have a hard time using the other glass pearls that I bought. So we may see a big D-stash going down because I have a lot of them, and they just the difference is incredible with the Preciosa pearls, but of course this takes a lot. I did not count. This was a strand of I think 150 beads, and there was about a third left of that strand, so maybe 100 beads for that. So if you think, if you're going to use, say, Swarovski crystals in here, like a 4mm bicone, that's 100 of those. So that's a lot. So it's probably better to do it with a nice, inexpensive. And I mean, it's beautiful, but yeah, I'm becoming a bead snob. So let's put those aside and let's get started on this one here. So let me put this over here. So you're going to need scissors. You're going to need your thread. I'm using dragon thread, size 6, and it's the black thread. I bought some black thread and I was not happy with the condition of the thread, and I didn't use it for the longest time. And I thought for something like this, because it's not structural, you could use a thinner thread and not worry. It's not going to be holding a whole lot of beads. I mean, when you start adding a lot of seed beads like this, it is a bit heavy, but I think it's sufficient for this. So there's that. I'm using a size 10 needle. Big tip, when you're doing this type of netting, I would recommend starting with a new needle that is straight. You're just constantly picking up beads, and if your needle is bent in the slightest, they'll just keep falling off. It's so frustrating. I went and got a new needle, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going so much faster. So a little tip there. And this is the beads we're using. So this is the other thing. I decided to go with gold, and I am really amazed at how gorgeous this looks. And it's even on this green ball. So I love these green balls. They're like sprayed with like a kind of a snow effect, sparkly snow effect, and they are stunning. And again, I got these on Amazon. They came in a set of like 30 balls, and there was like 6 different color balls. So, essentially there's 6 of these ones and then some other colors. So then I am using for this dangly part here, these are Czech drops 5x7, and I got these in bulk from Shipwreck Beads. I think it was like $5. So that was a crazy deal. It was in one of their clearance thing, plus I had like 50% off. So these are gorgeous. So these, you only need, I'm thinking 10 here, so there's 5. There's, yeah, 10. is what you need for this. So well, we might as well. Actually, I'll just put a few out because what we're gonna do, I already have one that is almost finished. So I'm gonna show you how to get it started and move along a bit, and then we'll pick up the other one that just needs the last 2 rows, and I'll show you how to put that together. So hopefully this will be a quick video for you. You won't be, watching me bead the whole time. These are they call them EOS or IOS puca beads, and I got these from Beads in the Czech Republic, and this is what they look like. They are really beautiful. They're great kind of connectors. They kind of rounded on the edges, and then it's a 2-hole bead. So you need 10 of those. You can use a super duo for this, or you can just put a loop of seed beads all the way around. You don't need these at all. But I kind of wanted to put something decorative at the top because these Christmas balls, as nice as they are, the caps are a little, plasticky looking. So definitely just that little bit has embellished it considerably. And I like how they sit up and down. Now you can flip them out so that they go out. And just got to remember when you're putting your beads together to adjust your tension for that, because this is quite tight on here. So, and if you're using a super duo, same idea, you probably want to lay it flat. You don't have to. You can, like I went ahead and put a bead in there at the end, at the top part, so that we, it looked like it was a finished piece. So, get started here. Put some stuff out. The last one I didn't talk about is the Miyuki square cube beads. I got, these are 8mm fire galvanized fire, I guess it's called. I got this, it was a big bulk bag, and I've since done some grab bags with these, so this is all I have left. I have some silver too, but these are gorgeous. So these are going to be the connecting beads. Let me get this in my hand here so you can see. And we'll pick it up with a needle. So there you go. They are gorgeous. They're so nice. So when you put all this stuff together, it looks like real jewelry. Just amazing. So we'll put some of those out. Probably don't need that many, but. And we'll put some of these. Seed beads. Move these over. There. We definitely don't need that many of those. So you could use just a regular seed bead instead of one of these cubes, or you can use a crystal. So there's lots of options. Now, I just have about an arm's wingspan of my thread. There is a trick to doing it all on one thread, and what I did was I pulled 2 wingspans of this, maybe a little bit more than 2 wingspans, and then I take the 1 wingspan, take this end, and just wrap it around your fingers till you get to the halfway mark, and then I just twist it like this to kind of keep it together, and then put this aside. You can use a stop bead, or you can create your knot at this point, and just leave this loose. Now it will sometimes get in the way. I usually tuck it under my bead mat so that it stays out of the way and doesn't get tangled in. And then I use the other side. So then when I'm going through my design and I get to the end of this, I tie this off and I thread my needle onto the other piece and just unravel this and put your needle on and continue your pattern away around. And that's one way that you can get everything on just in the one strand. You don't have to do that. You can, you know, do your knots and add some more thread as much as you need. But I did find that for adding the thread, you have to remember to add it in the up position. So when you're going up this way, because we're going to come down this, like this, like this, like this. We're going to add this piece, then we're going to come back through, and then we're going to go back up. So putting your knot in this down position, if this gets pulled, it might pull the knot down. So that's why I was a little kind of leery about, you know, using knots. So let's get started. So we're just going to pick up our, let me enlarge this a bit. See if we can get a little better light here. So pick up one of the pucas, the EOS, and then a seed bead, and we'll just pick them all up like that. So one of each. This needle feels weird. Just keep going. And again, when you do your knot on this piece here, be sure to not do it tight, or at least measure it with your whatever ornament you're putting it on. Make sure got all the seed beads there. There, and one more seed bead. Let's show you what I have here. So this is what we have. Okay, so you're going to bring that down to the bottom or to the spot where you have your thread that you're hanging on to. So I'm going to bring mine down to the bottom. I do believe we'll need it. So now I'm going to create a knot. And let's bring this down some more. And just that. So I'm going to leave it a bit loose here because it is kind of tight on this ball. Put another knot. And I'm going to do a third knot. So if you're looking for something to do that's kind of calming and relaxing, this is really fun. But you know, like any beading, it could be frustrating as well. So just be aware. I think it's when you start making errors, and I did that a couple of times where I had to so one of the things, because this is a 2-hole bead here, we're always gonna step down to the lower bead so that we can add our beads. But when we come back around, we go through the bottom, we go up the top and come over, and then go over to the next bead and come down. Every once in a while I'd forget to come down, and I'd get all the way back up to the thing, and I'd be like, why does this look so weird? It's in the wrong hole. Like somebody came and worked on my project and messed up the hole. And be like yelling at Jen, Jen, did you touch my beads? There, rid of that. So now I'm going to go through it one more time without, you know, creating any tension. I'm going to go towards the bead, and that's just, there's the knot. So you might want to just gently tuck that knot in there, but it's really not necessary. You're not going to see it at all. So, and it might be a pain in the butt trying to get your needle through later on. So let's once and go all the way around. Oh, I have a keyboard tray that sticks out a bit, and my thread always gets hooked on it. So it just came off. Put a little more through so it doesn't do that again. Okay, keep going here. Just like that. We'll test it on the ball so you can see what I'm talking about. So we're right at the knot now. I'm just going to pass the knot by 2 beads of the EOS parpucas. So come out of the EOS parpuca like that. There. And let's get this guy. So you saw how loose that is, and look at how, like, I'm gonna have to squeeze it on to get it on there. There. That one's not too bad. The other ones I had to sit there and stretch it to get it on. I do use a lot of tension, so okay. So if you look, that bead at the top is where the thread is coming out of. We want to start our bead coming out of the bottom one, so we're going to step down. So do like that. That's it. Go through that hole. Now we're going to pick up 7 11-ohs, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that, and we're going to pick up 1 brick or cube, and then 7. Okay, so that is what you have. Now this is going to be your stringing what you're going to string all the time. So 7 on this side, then your cube, and then 7. So you're going to do that 3 times every time you go down, and then when you come up, you're going to do the same, but you're going to combine your cube. Now, at the beginning, if you notice, there's all these strands here. But if you look at it, it's 7, a cube, and then 7. So then you're always going to add a cube in between your 7 beads. So then you're going to go to 7, a cube, and 7. Then a cube, then 7, a cube, and 7. And then at the bottom, you're going to do 1. And then you're going to add your thing and turn around. But we'll get to that. But I just wanted to point that out because initially for me it was a bit confusing as to how many like combinations of the 7, 7, and the cube. So the first strand is different from all the rest of the strands. So that's the other part to it because you have nothing to attach this to. So we'll just keep track of this. So we put a cube now, and we're going to do 7 11-ohs. There's 6, 7, and a cube. We're going to do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the other thing. You might, when you're starting out, you might want to check your numbers each time. So all I do is something like this, and automatically you can see there's 4 there and 3 here. Okay, I've got my 7. Surprisingly, you will end up with odd numbers that you're like, where did that come from? So now I'm just putting that individual cube that separates that one. So then we'll do 7. And a cube and 7. So we should be at 3 right now, but we have to add the top and the bottom one. And you'll see what I'll lay it out so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you look here, this first 7 11-0s is this area here that's coming off of these EOs. Okay. Then if you look at, just take your finger and do that. So there's your set of 7, cube, and 7. So that's 1. And then of course you need the cube to separate it. Then you have 7, cube, 7. So that's 2. So we still need a half of 1 here. So let's take a look. What do we have? And that will be our 3. Sure, yeah, 7. Okay, let's double check with our ball to make sure we have the correct amount. So there's 1, 1, 2, 3. And if you look at it this way, we'll do it sideways to make it easier. So there's the 1 of the 7. And if you look this to this, that's 1, 2, and 3. So this part here is the end. So that's, now we can take and create this piece here. So we need a cube, a drop, 3 11-0s, and we're going to go back up through the drop and through the cube, and then we're going to start back up. So just remember to put your drops in the drop position, so the skinny side up like that. Then 3 11-0s. Okay, I'm going to pull everything down, and I tend to hold my work this way, and you'll see as we get going it'll make it easier. So you have that relatively taut, so you're holding everything there. Then you're going to go back down your drop and through your cube and come out this way and hang on to that, and just, you know, nudge your seed beads into that picot shape, and that's it. So let's put this down here so you can see how this is coming about. So now what we want to do is we want to create one of these. So we're really going to create 3 more of these. So we're going to start and mirror that one. So pick up 7. I apologize if this is a lot of explanation. I just found that, like, I had to figure this out on my own, and it made more sense to me once I got it into little sections. So I was hoping that that would help you. If it doesn't, let me know. If you can politely let me know that there's too much explanation, I'm okay. Yeah, and just remember there's people out there that have never done anything like this, so they do appreciate the explanation. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll pull those down so you can see what I have now. So that's what I just added. If you pull it right down. So now we have to connect to these So you're always going to connect to your opposite. So we didn't connect that one, we're going to connect that one. We're not going to connect that one, we're going to connect that one, and so forth. And you'll see why that happens and what it does. So let's go through this cube. That. And there's our first little diamond shape. If you kind of spread it out. And once these get connected, you'll see the diamond shape forming. So it's fun too, because I always find it amazing that you can take something like these loose beads and create something like this. It's exciting. There, so you can see what I'm doing. 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think that's only 6. I think this mat is a very new, so it's very spongy, so the beads are like bouncing around. So we pick up a cube. That's what we have so far. And then 7 more. There. Okay, bring those down. And slide those down. That. So we're going to skip that cube. We're going to go through this cube. And you can do this with a 8-0 bead as a substitute for your cube. That works as well. Okay, so yeah, these are really bouncing around. Let's see if I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like that. So we're going to go through this cube. That's what I have so far. And now we're going to add our last 7. We're going to go through the bottom hole, and then we're going to go up and over to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go through this hole. And even if some of this is loose, you don't have to worry. Once you pull this through and then step up, you can tighten it. And you know, I think you have to find kind of a common ground with the tension, because you don't want it super tight that you can't open these to add the next bead. Okay, so we're coming out of the bottom hole. We're going to go step up to the top hole, and we're going to pass through the next seed bead and the next EOS puca at the top here. Yeah, like I said, you can tighten that. So this is the part that I always forget to do. I start threading beads on here, but it's in the top hole, so this needs to be in the bottom hole. And here's the thing too, it always has to be on the right side of the puca so that we can connect it to this. So that's my other clue when I do it wrong. So what's that saying? I have half a clue. So pick up 7. That's our first task. There's 7. So now we are going to again, when we started this, we did 7, a cube, and 7. I know it looks confusing because here's our pieces, but when we go, we want to go opposite. So we're going to put a cube here and 7, and we're going to attach to here. So it kind of is offset a bit. So let's get one of these guys. And 7. There's my 7. Over. Bring that down. So now you can see if I go through that cube and then start, that's where you're going to start getting your offset. So let's make sure you go from the correct side. So this is why I end up hanging on to my work this way. So then I can go through this cube from this angle. Like that. It looks like it's stretched out, but remember this is circular. So once this is on the ball and it's circular, it will all be the same length. So now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cube. You get really fast too, like I was holding the needle, pulled them down, and then get my next 7. 1, 2. You find your little routine to do. There, 7. So now we are going to skip the next one, go through the following cube. That. And so that's what it looks like so far, but if you pull it out, you can see you're going to start to get your shapes. So we'll do a few more so we can kind of see it progressing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, skip the next one, go through the next one. That's what we have. And now we're going to do 7 and we're going to add our drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cube, that, and our drop. That. 1, 2, 3. When I got these drops, I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, there's not much color to them. I am so in love with them. I'm so in love with them that I went back to see if they had any more. I can't remember if they did or not. I was like, oh, you probably have enough. But they're so beautiful with the gold. They have like a shimmer on them. So it looks... There we go. So pick up 7. Make sure there. A cube. And then 7. Make sure I have enough here. Yeah. So that's what I have for the next one. 7, cube, 7. Bring it down. Go through. So you're going to skip this cube. you're going to go through this cube. That. So this is starting to look lovely. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip the next cube, go through the next cube. And just watch this. Sometimes this happens where it flips over your dangles. So just straighten them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And go through. So you're skipping that cube, you're going to go through the next cube, and we're at the end. So we're going to add 7 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's just turn this so you can see what I have. So we're coming out of that cube. We're going to go to the opposite side. Hole. Like that. And pull that through. And don't worry if you see how it looks like it's underneath. It's even if your thread was not the correct thread, it doesn't matter because the beads will sit in the correct orientation. So you see how it pulls over? So then it's fine. Especially once it's on the Christmas ball, you won't notice. Okay, so let's go from the lower hole to the top hole. So we're going to step up. We're going to go through 2. So like the seed bead and the puca. Pull that a little bit. And so you might think, oh, okay, it's in the bottom hole. The thread's coming out of here, but actually it's not. So you got to flip your puca. Now it's in the top hole. So you want to cross over to your bottom and continue again. Like that. And we're going to start all over. So you're going to do 7, a cube, and then pass through that one. Let's do one more. I think it needs just to be clear. Okay, there's 7, a cube, okay. So we have 7, a cube, and 7 coming out of this bottom hole of the puca. We're going to skip the first bead or the first cube and go through the second cube. That. That. Okay. Let me extend my thread here. Okay, I'll hold this out. So 7. And again, this goes really fast once you get going. Cube, and 7. There's 8 on there. Take one off. Okay. Just bring everything out where it should be. So we're going to skip the first cube. So we're coming out of this one. We're going to skip this one and we're going to go in this one. That. Pick up 7. There's 7, a cube, and 7. And 7. So we're coming out of this cube, we're gonna skip this one, we're gonna go through this one. There. So you can really see how it's starting to shape up quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pick up a cube and pick up a drop. Like that. And 3 seed beads for your picot. And hang on to your thread, come back through your drop and through your cube. And kind of pinch the collar there. And there you go. Set. Start going back up. Pick up a cube. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're coming out of the drop. We're going to skip the first cube and go through the next cube. And remember how I was saying the direction that you're going is where you want to go through. So because we're coming down, we want to go from that top of that cube down like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A cube. One of the beads that's similar to the cube and similar in size is the triangle beads that you can get, the Czech glass beads. And they're really pretty. Okay, cube. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we just need the 7 here. 6, 7. So you're coming up out of this cube. We're going to go to the other side of the puca. Eos. Pull that through. And put your tension there. And step up. So we're coming out of this side. We're going to go to the top hole. And go over by 2. So a seed bead and the puca, like that. And remember to step down. Now you can see I don't have a lot of thread, so this is where I would change my thread, because then what I can do is I can create a knot in here. Then I don't have to worry about the thread. So if I created a knot down one of these here, because the beads sit this way, this could get heavy and it could slide that knot down. So that's why I was saying take a look at where your thread is when you're working with it. And if you didn't do the trick of using, the extra wingspan of thread, then definitely go in here and put a knot. So now I'll just leave that. I'm going to work on this later, but I have one that's ready to go. We're just going to add the last 2 rows so I can show you. So get your work up to here. You don't have to think about how many rows to do because you're just going to follow your beads. So they will tell you where you're at. So go all the way around these until you get to your last bead, and then we'll do it. It's starting to sound like Stephanie. We'll do it together. So come back and get to that spot. I should do a Stephanie video. This one already has a needle, but you can see the needle, like how bent it is. We'll see how difficult it is. We may end up changing it. So this is what you should have. Like this. Isn't that amazing? Isn't this lovely? I'm trying to think of something I can make with this that doesn't involve a Christmas ball. So I'm thinking like something like this, like very like princess gloves. Wouldn't that be a cool bracelet? Oh, I need help. Okay, so we have 2 rows to do here, and I left it at that because I wanted you to see, the full, closing up of this design. So basically this next row we're going to do is exactly the same as what we have been doing. We're going to add it to these. So here's, like I said, a way that you can hold it to make it easier to work with if you don't want to set it down on your bead mat. And just kind of hang on to it like that. And you're ready to add to these guys. So we're in the bottom position. Good. So let's pick up 7. So there's 7. And a cube. Then 7 more. So I'm finding it's easier to pick up these beads with, this is a size 12 needle. So, so it might not have been the mat after all. So there's 7. Yep, 7. So I have 7, a cube, and 7. Just like we were doing on the others. So let's connect this. So we are coming out of here. We're going to skip the first cube and we're going to go through the second cube. And from the top. Well, if you're looking at it this way, it's the bottom. I'm thinking this area is the top of the design, so that's why I mentioned it. So just like that, and we'll continue. See what we have here. Cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, coming out of here, we're going to skip the next cube and go to the one after and go through like that. Pull everything through. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a cube, try and straighten this, 1, 2, 3. That's what I was saying about these needles. Oh, they won't stay on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always wondered why you see beaders in videos do that, where they pull it with their finger. Now I know why. Okay, there's 7. I'm a little slow sometimes. I'm like, maybe they do it different in their country. I'm thinking about Teresa from Potomac Beads. I am so in love with her. First of all, she does the most amazing designs. And secondly, I love her accent. 5, 6, and 7. And for the longest time, it annoyed me, and then all of a sudden, it was like I flipped the switch, and I'm like, I really like it. So I love the way she says Potomac beads. It's Potomac beads. And I'm not making fun of her. I think it's adorable. So we're putting our drop on. So there's our picot, our 3 beads, like that. So let's hang on to this and go back down through the drop and the cube. Hang on to that. Let's bring these guys up. And like that. So now this is the different part, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. Let's try it this way, because this is kind of hard to see. Okay, so this is the other side. Let me tilt this down a bit. Okay, here's our thread coming out of the drop. So we need to put 7 on here. So pick up 7. Okay, double check what we have here. Okay, we have 7. So let's bring these down so you can see where we're at here. Okay, now if you look at this side here, we want to complete, see how these are like little V's here? So we want to complete that. And we need to connect this side here. So let's just do it this way here. Okay, so we're going to go through this cube. Let's see if I can get that a little better for you to see. Okay, so that's the other side. So you see how these are all connected to the cubes at the base? So this one we're going to connect right here through the bottom, which if you're looking at it this way is the top. And you might be able to like flip it over, but I'm going to try and do it this way so you can see it in my hand here. There, like that. Let's hang on to that. pull, pull, pull all the way. And there's your first connection, okay? And again, this is a bit confusing, I know. So now, if you lose track of how to put it together, take a look at the previous row. So if you look at the previous row, you went from here, which is what we just did, and then you went up and over. So basically this weave here is going to be, we're not going to add any more cubes. We're just going to add 7 beads, connect, 7 beads, connect. Okay, so let's try that. Let's put 7 beads on our needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one won't go on. 5, 6, and 7. Okay, let's pull these down. I might just flip it over at this point because it might be easier to see. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Let's bring this and let's see if I can put this on my hand so you can get a better glimpse of what we're doing here. So pull that. Okay. So we're connected on this side, so now we're going to connect on the other side. So you're going to go opposite all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's bring these down. Oh, I didn't connect it. I already had my 7 beads on, so let's take these off. There's 4 and 3. Okay. Let's find our edge here, right here, and connect it. That. And what you can do, if this is confusing for you, you can put it on the ball and connect it that way. So let's try that, see if that makes a difference. I feel like what you can see on camera is the most important part of the video because, you know, you can take away the audio and still be able to do the bracelet or the design. Flip these over. There. Flip that. So you can see as we added to, this is getting tight, so that's why I'm having a hard time getting this one in. Let me see if I can pop that on. There. That. Okay. And pull that out. There and there. There. Okay. It's not exactly as easy to see, but try it here. 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure that's 7. Yeah, 7. Okay, so we're in this cube, this square here. We're going to go to the other side and put it through here. Let's see if we can get this tension so that it closes it up. Something like that. Hang on to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're coming out of this cube. We're going to go into this cube. There. Let's see if I can. There we go. And then my thread got under the beads, so let's move that out. There we go. And that's snug. Look at that. So it's kind of cool when it starts to come together. You're like, ooh, it's magic. 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to the other side. So you're coming out of here. We're going to go into here. Get this guy in here. Like that. And then we've got this one to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 through this cube. Let's get in here. There. There. And then we just have that one that goes across here. So pick up 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we want to go in that hole. I'm going to take it off. Just it makes it so much easier to get in there and do the knot. So let's just pop that off. Hang on to it like that. And that's the blank hole there. Pull through. Okay, now go up. Step up. Go over a few holes. That was the previous knot, so we'll get past that. So pull that tight like that. And pass that knot. And let's just make our knot here. That. Pull through. Pick up your thread like that. Wrap your thread around it and then hang on to it and pull it through. And then go through a couple of beads and you're done. That. There. Like that. And there you have it. So let's put this on here. Get all these drops down. There we go. And we need to put that there. I love the design, this flower design that it creates. I should do an ornament and have this over here and then bezel it, and then it'll be like a flower. So then you can just hold it over here and then gently push these down like that. And I love these because it covers up this beautiful, or this plastic. And this is your ornament. Ta-da! So I hope you have time to do some fun stuff like this. If not, have a wonderful Christmas and holiday. And thank you for watching. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll be doing some more stuff. Take care, everybody. Bye.